All right. Hey, Luke and Will. Really glad to be here with y'all this afternoon. For those of y'all out there who are watching this, the three of us have gotten together for our churches or anybody else who might be listening to reflect on the 7 last words of Jesus this Good Friday. And so we hope you'll join us, but we just want to introduce ourselves to anybody who's watching so you know what to expect. So I'm Tyler Prescott. I am pastor at Good Samaritan Anglican Church, a new church plant here in Summerville, South Carolina. And just really glad to have y'all tuning in with us.
And I'm Luke. I'm the pastor at St. Timothy's in Cane Bay, a church here in South Carolina. And I also am very excited to be a part of this and also just be working with these other fine clergy people.
Use that term loosely.
I'm Will Clauber. I am the pastor at St. Aidans of the Sea Islands on John's Island, and very excited to be collaborating with Luke and Tyler for our first Holy Week and our first Good Friday on this project. It's very exciting to do it together.
Well, we were just talking about this, that sometimes it's easy to think about Good Friday, at least for me, theologically. You know, what does it mean for us? What did Jesus accomplish or achieve? And we certainly will be doing that as we go through our reflections. But we're also talking about there's an emotional aspect to Good Friday that we don't want to leave behind. And you know, I was just telling these guys that sometimes, at least at my house, we struggle knowing exactly what emotion we're feeling. So we've got actually a wheel on our refrigerator. And if we're not sure what our emotion is, we go and we find it on the wheel. And that can be really helpful. And so what we're hoping is to open up this idea that we can respond emotionally to the work of the cross, not just at a head level, but at a heart level. And we're going to hopefully share with y'all briefly perhaps how we might respond emotionally to the crucifixion as we remember it yet again this Friday. So Luke or Will, any thoughts on that?
You go ahead, Luke.
Well, we started at St. Timothy's, we started Lent by saying that one of the worst things that could happen is that we would go through Lent and we would make it to this day, Good Friday, thinking that the cross wasn't for us, thinking that the cross wasn't a very personal act. And so I think this is just one of many great ways of making it personal, of walking with Jesus and experiencing what he experienced through his words and his sayings, and just having that lock in, that this isn't just something that happened 2,000 years ago. This is for us. This is something that happens not just for people who are great and people who are the worst kind of people. This is for all kinds of people, and especially for us. And so that's really what we've been trying to hammer home this whole Lent. And I think this is a great sort of way of putting a bow on the whole experience and just sitting at the foot of the cross and like Tyler said, just allowing the wave of feeling to wash over us.
Yeah, and I would concur with what both of y'all said. And one of the things that Tyler mentioned was that we can get wrapped up in the theology of the cross. What's going on? How, and really dig deep into that, and oftentimes separate it from, well, how is this directly applicable to my life? How am I impacted by these words of Jesus, by these 7 last words? And so one thing I'm excited about is the opportunity to make that accessible to all of our people and to all of those who would join us as we walk through this journey together. I think it's a good way to complete out our Holy Week walk that we've been doing so far. And typically on Palm Sunday, you end your service by reading the Passion. Well, we didn't read the Passion narrative this year. I wanted my people to walk the journey to the cross and then get to the cross on Good Friday. And so I'm excited about working together with y'all and making these truths available for the people and able to process emotions and thoughts through the lens of the words of Jesus. So I'm excited. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun.
As I was going through my devotions, I was just struck that that Jesus was so ruthlessly executed, almost without any thought, from many of the folks. Obviously, some of the leaders had lots of thoughts about this, but as I riled up the mob, there was almost very little thought to what exactly was happening and what they were doing. And what struck me was a deep sadness, with the realization that, I very likely would have been part of that mob to some extent. They're standing out at the foot of the cross and cheering on the crucifixion of the most beautiful person to ever walk the face of the earth. And so there's a deep sadness there, and then yet overwhelming joy. This is called Good Friday for a reason. And the fact that despite all of that, our Savior gave himself up for us. And with that comes just an incredible joy and thanksgiving. And so every year as we go through the Good Friday service, all these sort of emotions exist at the same time. And it's a great time just to slow down, and to process them, and don't finish processing them, or at least for me, it's a good thing. I let that sort of bleed into Saturday, where there's just this time of quietness and stillness, to let the monumental things that happened on Good Friday to sink in, before this great joy and celebration of Easter Sunday. So thanks, guys. I'm excited about letting this sink in together. And all y'all watching, thank you. We'll look forward to being with you over the next day or so. We'll begin at noon on Good Friday, and we'll post a new reflection every 30 minutes until 3 p.m. when we post our last one. So God bless y'all, and we will see you tomorrow.
Thanks.